Unit 30. Read. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. If a person kills another person, do you think he or she should die? Are you for or against the death penalty? This is a much controversial topic to be discussed, isn't it? But let's try. Read this and think it over.
Capital punishment has been used throughout history, although its methods and the crimes for which it's used have changed over the centuries. Nowadays, not only are the methods different, but more importantly, not everyone agrees that capital punishment should be used. People are divided into two distinct groups, those for and those against. In the USA, 85% of the population over the age of 21 approve the death penalty. In many states which still have the death penalty, some use the electric chair, which can take up to 20 minutes to kill, while others use gas or lethal injections. By contrast, in Britain, public opinion started to turn against the use of capital punishment after the Second World War. A number of well-publicized cases in the 50s, two in particular, helped to bring about this swing. The first of these was the case of Ruth Ellis, who was hanged for shooting her lover in what was generally regarded as a crime of passion. The second was the posthumous pardon of Timothy Evans, hanged for murders which, it was later proved, had been committed by someone else. However, despite this change of opinion, the death penalty was not actually abolished in Britain until 1965. And even now, there are many people, both inside and outside Parliament, who would like it to be reintroduced. There have been 14 attempts to bring back hanging since its abolition. The pro-hanging lobby uses four main arguments to support its call for the reintroduction of capital punishment. First, there is the deterrence theory, which argues that potential murderers would think twice before committing the act if they knew that they might die if they were caught. The aimed bank robber might, likewise, go back to being unarmed. The next argument in favor of bringing back capital punishment concerns public security. If death penalty were reinstated, it would mean that a convicted murderer could not be set free after serving 20 years or less of a life sentence and be able to go on to murder again. Consequently, the general public would be safer. The other two arguments are more suspicious. The idea of retribution demands that criminals should get what they deserve. If a murderer intentionally sets out to commit a crime, he should accept the consequences. Retribution, which is just another word for revenge, is supported by the religious doctrine of an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. The fourth and last main pro-hanging argument is the most cold-blooded. It is that it makes economic sense to hang convicted murderers rather than keep them in prison wasting taxpayers' money. The arguments against the death penalty are largely humanitarian, but there are also statistical reasons for opposing it. In Britain, in 1903 was the record year of executions, and yet in 1904 the number of homicides actually rose. This was similar occurrence in 1946 and 1947. If the deterrence theory were correct, the rate should have fallen. The second main argument that innocent people are sometimes wrongly convicted, and while people can be released from prison, they cannot be brought back from the dead if they have been hanged. The other reasons to oppose the death penalty are largely a matter of individual conscience and belief. One is that murder is murder, and the state has no more right to take a life than the individual. The other is that Christianity preaches forgiveness, not revenge.
Listening. You will hear someone expressing their opinion about capital punishment. Fill in the blanks. Sometimes you will need more than one word. I am dead against the death penalty. I believe that no one has the right to take other people's lives, no matter the reasons why. Keeping criminals in jail for the rest of their lives is not a good solution either. Why should people pay high taxes to get themselves a better living if part of this money is used to keep criminals fed and dressed? In addition, they can be set free long before their sentences are completed. In my point of view, the best way to deal with criminals is to give them something to do. Farm prisons should be built. Once criminals were sent there, they would have to work to pay for their own expenses. So they would pay for their crimes more effectively than just sunbathing all day.